What's up, guys? This is XNOCV, and today I'm going to talk about that Pittsburgh Steelers game against the Buffalo Bills. This is the first video I've been able to make in a while because I haven't had access to the All-22 tape. Well, finally, this week, I was able to obtain access, so I figured this would be the perfect video. And, as a fan of the Steelers, I was really hoping, I had high expectations that this offense would come out and at least look decent, right? But in that first half, it was horrible. It was brutal. They had like 50 yards overall. But in the second half, they impressed me. They were able to move the ball down the field on 4 consecutive drives, put up points, and, just look like an NFL offense. And I want to talk about the major difference between the first half and the second half. How was the Steelers team able to move the ball consistently? That's what we'll talk about when we break down the film. Alright guys, so the very first play I'm going to show you was literally the Steelers' first play of the 2021 season. They're just going to line up in 12 personnel and hand the ball off to Najee. I'm not knocking this play. I have no issue with this. It's literally the first play of the season, and, guys are nervous. Guys are hyped up. They haven't played football in a while, and this is the first real game action. The best way to calm these guys down is just to have them hit somebody. So I'm not knocking this play. The reason I'm showing you this is because this is an example of what you're going to consistently see throughout this first half. So obviously, the Steelers come out with 2 tight ends and Ben's under center. The Bills know they're running the football, right? They know it. So, they're going to run the ball here. They're going to hand the ball off to Najee. Najee's going to get 2 yards. Why did he only get 2 yards? That's what we're going to look at. So obviously, because the Bills know they're running the football and they're coming out in this formation, the Bills are just going to crowd the line of scrimmage and put 8 guys in the box. It actually ends up being 9 guys because the Steelers use motion, and when Juju goes across the field, the DB that's following him just kind of shifts over and then sits inside the box. So now there's 7 blockers, and Juju's not blocking, by the way. He's just running to the sideline. So now you have 7 blockers against 9 defenders, which is horrible. Okay, so I saw a lot of people complaining about the offensive line, like, oh, they need to play better, and they certainly do. Like, I'm not saying they don't, but there's some situations that if you're just way too predictable, like this, like I said, it's just an example. There's only so. I don't care if you have all Pro Bowlers on that offensive line. I don't care if you have Bo Jackson in the backfield. There's too many guys, and you'll see here that Tremaine Edmonds is just gonna come right through, clean. Everybody's picking up a guy here, but Tremaine Edmonds doesn't have a guy because there's too many defenders. So he's going to tackle Najee, and it's only going to be a 2-yard game. And you're going to see a very consistent pattern. The difference on this one is, instead of me showing you one single play, I'm going to show you an entire series. This is like the second or third series. The Steelers end up going 3 and out here. And, you're going to see why. And it's because, they just made it so obvious what they wanted to do each time they lined up. Now, the very first play is an awesome play. Obviously, it's 1st and 10, and you're off as an offense. You can do whatever you want. You can throw the ball, or you can run the ball. Okay, so the element of surprise is on your side, and believe me, the Steelers have the weapons to do this. They have amazing receivers. They have an amazing running back. They can do whatever they want. So they're going to come out. This is 11 personnel. And they have a trips to the right with a tight end on the left, so it's trips close, and they have Najee in the backfield. Now look at the box. The Bills have 4 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers. So you can run the ball here on this 6-man box because you got 7 blockers. Those are favorable numbers, and you have 2 high safeties. You could do that. Or you can throw the ball. You can do whatever you want on this play, and the Steelers are going to do exactly that. They're going to throw a little screen pass to James Washington, and it's going to pick up 8 or 9 yards, and again, find yourself in a favorable situation on 2nd down. Now, it's like 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1. Again, you can do whatever you want as an offense. Your entire playbook is open. You can throw the ball, you can run the ball, whatever. Instead, this is what I have a problem with, okay? The Steelers were so obsessed with proving to people that they can line up and run it down everyone's throat that it kind of bites them in the ass a little bit. So here, again, I don't have a problem with the play. I get it. They're just trying to pick up the first down. But the Bills are like, we know there's no way you're going to throw out of this formation. And now let me explain the formation first, because it's not a really good angle. It's 12 personnel, but it's a tackle over. Okay, so instead of having a tackle and a tight end on each side of the offensive line, what they did is they brought the right tackle over to the left side, and they put the 2 tight ends on the right side. You know, if you come out and a tackle and a tight end on each side and 12 personnel, that you can throw out of that still. You know what I mean? So defenses can't just sell out for the run. But when you come out with a tackle over, the likelihood of you throwing the ball is slim to none, because you don't want your tight end pass blocking an edge rusher and getting your quarterback killed. So the Bills know they're running. Now they have a 7-man box, and you'll see they're going to do an outside zone here, and they're going to stuff Najee in the backfield for a 3 or 4 yard loss. So now it's 3rd and 5, okay? So you had the element of surprise on that second down, but now because you ran a very obvious run play in a very obvious running formation, and the Bills countered it, now you find yourself in a very obvious passing situation in 3rd and 5. Now, again, you have to pass on this down, so the Steelers come out and empty. I don't have a problem with them coming out and empty, but the Bills are just going to counter with their dime defense. They're going to pin their ears back for their defensive linemen, and they're going to run stunts. And, you know, they're going to confuse your offensive line, and Ben's going to have nowhere to throw the ball and no time to throw the ball, and it's going to be a turnover. You're going to have to punt the ball away. And again, you had this extremely promising drive that stalled out because you were too predictable. All right, so the next series I'm going to show you guys, the Steelers are backed up towards their end zone. I think this was the next series, and they're going to come out in this tackle over formation again. And I actually don't mind this play, okay? It's 1st down, and you already showed the Bills the tackle over formation before, but you were under center. Now you're in gun, and they don't really know how to react. They're like, oh, maybe it could be a run, maybe it could be a pass. As you can see, they're not selling out for the pass or the run. They have to kind of spread their defense out and play both. You know, they have to be conservative. And so I don't hate this play call. The Steelers don't execute it very well. It ends up being an incomplete pass to Deontay. Maybe Ben could have fit that in better. I don't know. But I don't hate the play call. I don't hate the attempt there. But now you find yourself in 2nd and long. And this is what I do hate, okay? It's 2nd and long, and you come out in 12 personnel under center, and so far you have showed this team that every time you line up under center, you're going to hand the ball off. So what do the Bills do? They're just going to sell out for the run. As you see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 blockers and a running back. You're going to motion Juju over. So now they have 9 guys surrounding the line of scrimmage, and you're going to run against that, and you're not going to do very well. And you'll see everybody gets picked up. Everybody has a man on them, but you'll see there's going to be a guy, I think number 24, who's just going to come free. And it's not because your offensive line sucks or your running back sucks or your whatever. It's because you just were telegraphing exactly what you wanted to do. The Bills were like, okay, you're going to obviously run the ball, so we're just going to crowd the line of scrimmage, and now you don't have enough blockers. And that's exactly what happens. 24 meets Najee in the hole, and it's a gain of like 2. Now it's 3rd and 8, but I think the Steelers get a penalty here, and it backs them up even further. So now it's like 3rd and 12. Obviously, the Steelers are going to pass the ball here. Like, what else would you do? But it's funny how the roles reverse now, okay? Because the offense finds themselves in a bad situation, 3rd and long. So now the element of surprise is on the Bills' hand. Usually it's the offense that has the element of surprise. You don't know what they're going to do. Now the Bills can do whatever they want. They can line up everybody. They can come after you and try to sack Ben. They can pretend like they're going to come after you and drop everybody back. You don't know. And you're just putting the offenses in such a bad situation here. Down by their end zone, 3rd and almost 15. You know, there's no way this pass is going to be... the likelihood of you converting this is very slim, Ben's going to try to force this ball in here for I don't know what reason, and it's almost picked off. And now you understand why. It's because all that whole sequence of events was just all added up to this extremely unfortunate situation where it's 3rd and long by your goal line, and it almost ended so badly for the Steelers. Now I'm going to transition to the second half where the Steelers kind of figured out, hey, we're being way too predictable here. We have way too many skilled guys. We have way too many studs on this offense. Let's spread this defense out and make them have to defend everybody. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you coming up. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys are going to recognize this play. This is the very first play of the second half, and it's going to be a run play to Najee. It's very similar to the screen passes that we saw earlier, and the reason it's effective, just like that screen pass was to Deontay Johnson and James Washington, is because you're stretching these defenses out thin. Okay, you simply have, as an offense, way too many weapons on the perimeter. Plus, you have this amazing running back now that, if you make them have to play everything, okay, you're gonna win with some sort of matchup, whether that's one-on-one with Deontay Johnson or one-on-one with Chase Claypool or Juju or the tight end, or in this situation, they only have 6 guys in the box, okay, and you have 6 blockers. So it's favorable numbers for you, so why not hand off the ball? And you'll see the tremendous difference it makes when the numbers are favorable, okay? Now, I'm going to break down this play quickly, but basically it's just a power. The offensive line is going to wash all their men down. Everyone's going to get a hat on a hat, and then you're going to pull your guard and your tight end over. But again, this only works because you have favorable numbers. I'm sick and tired. I'm not really pissed about it, but what happens is I've been seeing people say, oh, Najee only had 40-something yards because that offensive line isn't good. And that's just not true. If you say that, that's either because you didn't go back and watch the film or you just don't know football. Okay? This offensive line blocked fairly well, at least when it came to run blocking. I thought they struggled a little bit in pass protection. But when it came to run blocking, this offensive line did well. The biggest concern was when the numbers were not in their favor. But you'll see here that everyone's going to pick up their guy, and the run's going to go for 10 yards. Literally, everyone's going to get their guy. Right here, look. Everybody has a guy. Now it's Najee is one-on-one with number 24, and you expect him to win that. He didn't truck stick 24 like you would want him to, but he did drag him for, 3 yards, and it's a 10-yard gain. And it's an effective run play, a successful run play, and it's all because you were unpredictable based on the formation you came out with and the situation your offense was in. All right, so the last thing I'm going to break down for you guys is what this offense is supposed to look like when they have the element of surprise on their side. When they're not telegraphing every single thing that they want to do, what the advantage looks like for that offense. It leaves you room to make mistakes and make plays, right? So right here, the first play, for example, they're in 11 personnel again. They're in a pistol formation. And it looks like a run play, and the Bills don't really know what to do. They're going to come out in man coverage. You could run the ball here, you give it to Najee, or what the Steelers are going to do, they're going to run a little screen pass. Tremaine Edmonds is going to blitz off the side. He's going to get his hands up, knock the pass down. That's okay. I mean, I like the play call, though. I like how the Bills didn't know what you were doing, right? Now, this next play, I like even more. It's 2nd and 10. 11 personnel again, but it's just a different little wrinkle to the usual things that you have shown the Bills. Instead of coming out with a tight end and 3 wide receivers, they come out with a fullback, Derek Watt, and they have him at sidecar. So now the Bills are thinking, oh, this is definitely a run. Okay, so you have wide receivers, all one-on-one coverage, and then you have 7 guys in the box for the Bills. So you could very well run this ball here. The Steelers are going to run the RPO, but obviously it would be better to pass the ball to your elite receivers who have one-on-one coverage. And that's exactly what they'll do here. They're going to fake it to Najee on the RPO and hit Chase Claypool for a gain of almost 10 yards and find yourself in third and manageable. Now, this is a good situation. This, obviously in the first half, we saw them coming out in 12 personnel and telegraphing their obvious run plays, but on 2nd and 10, on downs where you still have the element of surprise. Here on 3rd and inches, the Bills know you're running the ball. You know you're running the ball, and I honestly don't hate this at all, okay? You have 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and you're just going to hand the ball off to Najee and hope your first-round running back can pick up a yard, and it's exactly what he did. It's exactly what he did, and it's actually good to see because, last year, these short yardage situations were just an absolute nightmare. Now, we get to the next play. The next play is 11 personnel. They have trips to the right, and the Bills are starting to get a little bit desperate here. They realize that you're consistently moving the ball down the field. They know why you're moving the ball down the field. It's because they don't know what you're doing, and they're having a hard time defending the run and defending the pass at the same time. And since you're not being so obvious with your intent, they have to spread their defense out thin. So here they're gonna do some man coverage, and then they're gonna send some pressure. And this is just poor execution on Ben's part. He's gonna have Chase Claypool wide open, and he's just gonna miss him. He's gonna panic and run out of the pocket and try to throw this ball to Juju Smith-Schuster when he clearly should have hit Chase Claypool, who was wide open. Instead, he's going to throw the Juju, and he's going to get Juju killed, and I'm sure that will be all over Twitter. Now, this is the last play I want to show you guys, and this is the big play to Pat Freiermuth, and the reason this is successful is because, look, the Bills don't know what to expect here. They come out, 11 personnel, you have a tight end, you have a running back, 3 wide receivers, they have a 6-man box, and you very well could do another RPO. You could hand this off to Najee Harris, and he could get a good chunk of yards and make this 3rd and manageable. So, the Bills are just spread out way too thin. Now, they have their safeties deep. They might roll them down. They might not. But it doesn't really matter because you have the numbers advantage inside and outside. Here, he's going to find Pat Freiermuth behind the zone, and this is all possible. The reason all of this worked for the Steelers is because they have the personnel. Sometimes they don't execute all the time. You will have some growing pains, but you have to understand on 1st and 2nd down, you can't just be so blatant with your intent. You have to make the defense, the Bills defense is really good. They have really good personnel, and they still can't compete with all the skill players that you have on your team. They can't defend your run game and your pass game at the same time. Matt Canada and the Steelers offense have to absolutely take advantage of that. If they take advantage of that, this offense will be very good. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up my breakdown on how the Steelers adjusted in the second half of that Bills game, and that's basically it. It's not, I think some fans think it's always about personnel issues. If the Steelers or if a team is struggling to move the ball or play defense, they think it's because somebody sucks. These are professional athletes, professional football players. These guys don't suck. A lot of times it has to do with schematics and situational football, and that's exactly what happened and plagued the Steelers in the first half. If the Steelers can take advantage of all the talent they have on offense, not just their running back, not just their wide receivers, this team will be able to effectively move the football on pretty much anybody. And that's really about it. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. I'm going to come out with some more videos on a consistent basis. I just, without the All-22 film, I basically haven't been able to do so. But so keep a lookout for that. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one.